You leave a conversation. Nothing bad happened. Nobody argued. Nobody said anything cruel. They were, if anything, perfectly fine. And yet, you sit in your car, or walk home, or close the door behind you, and you feel completely emptied out. Then something strange happens. You start feeling guilty for feeling tired, because they did not do anything wrong, because you actually like this person, because there is no good reason to feel this way. And so you add one more thing to carry, the exhaustion itself, plus the confusion about why you feel it. So what actually happened in that room? Because it was not them, not exactly. It was your brain, working at a level you never asked it to. Every conversation feels effortless from the outside, but underneath the surface, your brain is running constantly. It reads facial expressions, it listens for shifts in tone, it predicts what might come next. It decides when to speak, when to pause, when to stay quiet. Social interaction is one of the most cognitively demanding things your brain does. Most of the time, it handles this without you noticing. But not every conversation costs the same amount. Some conversations are easy. Your brain settles quickly, it knows what to expect. It stops scanning and simply exists. Other conversations never let it settle. And that difference between settled and scanning is where the exhaustion begins. Most people assume draining conversations come from negativity. Complaining, venting, difficult topics. But here's what research actually points to. The most tiring quality in another person is not negativity. It is unpredictability. Someone who is consistently negative is, in a strange way, easy to be around. Your brain knows what to expect. It calibrates. It prepares. But someone whose mood you can never quite read, someone who might be warm one moment and cold the next, someone whose reactions do not follow a pattern, someone who says one thing and means another, your brain cannot calibrate for that. So it stays on alert. It keeps monitoring, keeps predicting, keeps adjusting, recalculating, watching. Every second of that conversation, your brain is working overtime. And overtime is exhausting, even when nothing dramatic happened. There is a second layer to this. Your brain is built to mirror other people's emotional states. Psychologists call this emotional contagion. Spend time with someone genuinely calm, and your body tends to settle. Spend time with someone who carries low-level anxiety or tension, and your nervous system quietly starts carrying some of that weight too. Not because you chose to, not because you are weak, but because your brain automatically simulates what it perceives. This happens below conscious awareness. You do not decide to absorb someone's stress. Your brain simply processes it, along with everything else in the room. And processing extra emotional information costs extra mental energy. That is why you can walk away from a seemingly calm interaction feeling strangely heavy. Something was in the air. Your brain registered it. And now, you are paying the bill. Here is the part that most people skip past. Sometimes the exhaustion is not really about the other person at all. It is about the version of yourself that appears around them. Think about it. Are there people around whom you perform, where you carefully choose every word, where you monitor their reactions constantly, where you try to manage the energy in the room before anything even goes wrong? That version of you, the one managing, adjusting, monitoring, is exhausting, not because of them, because of how hard you are working to maintain something. And there is one more thing worth sitting with. There may be people in your life who feel drained after spending time with you, not because you are toxic, not because you are difficult, but because you are going through something heavy, because you need more than you can give right now, because you are, in those moments, the unpredictable one. We all take turns on both sides of this. Understanding that does not solve anything immediately, but it makes the experience less about blame and more about what is actually happening between two nervous systems trying to exist together. Think about the people who leave you feeling like yourself, maybe even more like yourself than before the conversation.
You do not monitor yourself around them. You do not rehearse sentences before you speak. You do not spend the drive home replaying what you said. Psychologists call this psychological safety. Your brain stops scanning for social danger. It stops predicting every possible reaction. It simply rests. That kind of conversation costs almost nothing because your brain is not working to protect you. It already knows it is safe.
So the next time you leave a conversation feeling unexpectedly emptied, do not immediately look for something wrong with you or with them. Your brain was doing exactly what it evolved to do: reading, predicting, adapting. Some people, for whatever reason, their unpredictability, their emotional state, or the role you play around them, require your brain to work much harder than usual. The exhaustion is not weakness. It is information. It tells you where your brain had to work hardest, where it felt least safe, where it could not fully rest. And sometimes, the most useful thing you can do with that information is simply to give yourself time to recover, without guilt, because your brain was not being dramatic. It was doing its job. It just happened to be a very hard shift.